The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
Tastes just like candy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Ask for Candy, where a bunch of powerhouse men and women get together online to talk about love, sex, relationships, and what it takes to be amazing on the daily. Who I am CandaceHarperLoveCoach.com, honey, and I help hardworking women and couples who have survived abuse be vibrant, alive, magnetic, and passionate while creating healthy, intimate relationships. And I'm coming to you from the amazing Gotham Podcast Studios on 38th in Midtown Manhattan, and the theme of this summer's Ask for Candy is badass bachelors, honey. And are you a badass bachelor out there listening? If you think you might be and want to be an August guest, plug your wares and possibly meet some ladies or gentlemen, stay tuned to the end of the show to hear the criteria. Nikki Brown just joined. Hi, Nikki, on the Facebook Live. First, happy Monday, everybody. You are listening to us on Armed Radio, maybe on your smart device, on the TuneIn app, or you're listening in the garden on armedradioglobal.com. We're also on iHeartRadio, so don't forget to follow us and download your favorite shows. And for the streamers, we're also available on Spotify and Spreaker, or maybe you're live with us here on the Facebook. So far, we got Nikki, we got Brandon, we got people trickling in. You guys know that are coming in on the Facebook that you can talk to us and interact with us and ask us all kind of questions, because we're talking about love and money tonight, and that is a hot button topic. Right?
Definitely.
Right? And it always is.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to introduce you to my special guest, my badass bachelor of the night, because he's fabulous. He deals in money, honey. So you know, the ladies out there are like, we're ready.
Money talks.
Money talks. So yeah, you know, you can comment on questions or ask questions here live on the Facebook, that you're part of the conversation. And if you're shy and you don't want to do all of that, you know that you can email me at askforcandypodcast@gmail.com. And those questions we'll answer at a later broadcast or later on the Facebook post. We'll come and, you know, make some comments. This is the time on Ask for Candy when we share. So, Bethuel, if you want to share it anywhere, I'm actually going to be sharing to the Ask for Candy group.
I'm sharing to my homepage.
Your homepage?
Some messages.
That's perfect.
Some friends who've been waiting for this to happen.
Really?
Definitely.
That's exciting stuff. Can I tell the people? I'm already telling the people that this is your first podcast.
Yes, it is.
I promise I'm going to be gentle.
No.
You want me to be rough?
I can take it.
All right, good. So yeah, if you're watching on the Facebook Live, feel free to share wherever you like. I'm going to share this in the Ask for Candy group, which I want you guys to join. And then you can also join the Armed Radio group news, and you can find out about when this podcast is coming on. You can watch replays. You can watch all other podcasts. And we have a lot of really great ones on Armed Radio. Some of them are about careers, parenting, all that good stuff. And where else? And Instagram. Don't forget to share us on Instagram. I don't know how that works. I'm so like...
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out myself.
Right?
So
I'm just beyond...
We'll learn together.
We'll learn together. I feel like you're more millennial than I am. You're closer to that range.
Old soul.
Are you?
Definitely.
Do you feel like you're really skilled on Instagram?
I'm still learning, to be honest. I'm mastering the whole social media presence.
Are you?
I'm dipping my foot into it. I had a friend that was helping me out, and then she moved to Thailand, so I'm flying solo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
should
amazing.
be going by the end of the year, so we'll see what happens.
That sounds amazing.
It will be.
Bethuel, after we introduce you, we're going to also talk about your amazing accent, your lovely accent, because I know that people are going to want to know, and the ladies out there are going to want to know. Hold on, let me just make sure that we're... It might surprise them, right? But it's good. It's very, very, very exotic. Okay, so now we're set. We did all the sharing we need to do, although, you know, you can always share more out there. Let me not stop you. All right, so now I want to introduce you, Bethuel. I want to tell the people about you. Right? Let me see. Where is it? Bethuel Taylor is a seasoned recruiter, trainer, and financial advisor for Primerica, which he declares is one of the country's most respected and fastest growing financial services firms focused on creating financial independence for middle-income families. His offices extend beyond the greater New York area to serve Texas, Florida, California, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Maryland. He's also a coach and a trainer for new associates to not only help make a significant difference in the lives of clients, but to also help them develop the skills necessary to establish successful careers in the financial industry.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Is that all true? Mm-hmm. Thank you for co-signing. Right? And as a member of the International Christian Brotherhood, ICB, Bethuel works with and coaches men on the important steps needed to reclaim their God-ordained mandate to be leaders, protectors, and providers in their homes,
absolutely,
places of businesses, and communities. Yeah. Welcome,
absolutely.
Bethuel.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you allowing me to be here on the platform.
Aw, I love
I'm
that you
happy to be
came.
here. Definitely.
Yeah.
All the way from Queens, you know, off the planet.
And we know that's not a Queen's accent.
No, it's not.
Right? What do you want to tell the people about you?
I am originally from Guyana, South America, born and bred.
Okay.
Came to America on a metal bird back in 2003 and didn't plan on being in the industry that I'm in. Circumstances actually led me here. If you told me a decade ago that I'd be doing what I'm doing, I would have laughed.
Yeah.
But I believe that everything happens for a reason, and this is where God placed me, and I'm looking forward to doing what He called me to do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's fantastic. So you said in 2003, so that's trying to do quick math. That's 16 years?
Yeah, something like that.
16
Absolutely.
years.
Yeah, America has been quite interesting. And she continues to surprise me.
Have you been other places besides New York? Did you come straight to New York?
Originally, I planted roots in Michigan. That's where my stepmother was practicing medicine.
Okay.
So finished high school, went to Wayne State University, and then we moved to Florida. Mm-hmm. But I'd already kind of planted roots in Michigan, and most of my childhood was spent moving around from place to place based on my father's work. So coming here actually afforded me the opportunity to stop that and kind of go where I wanted to go. So I actually went back to Michigan, first person to leave my father's house, which was another interesting learning experience. And then once
you had to pay for everything.
Yeah, it was not being under my father's guidance.
Yeah.
Every day was a refreshing thing, but I did learn from it. So it was interesting.
Yeah.
I learned a lot. So, and then after Michigan, I came to New York to spend time with my mother and my sister. So that's how long I've been here. Since 2009, actually.
So since 2009. So 10 years in New York.
Yeah, 10
Wow.
years and still getting used to the city. Yeah.
Are you?
Absolutely.
They say, the thing, when I first moved here, they would always say that if you can make it for 2 years, then you can make it. Like if you can make it after 2 years. And also people generally decide if they love it or they hate it by 2 years. But you're like, I'm still deciding.
I'm still deciding.
You still on the fence?
I think I'll always be. The goal is once we have enough offices opened up here to go to Florida and continue expanding our office locations. But I'll always travel back and forth because we have family here now.
Yeah.
Non-related family, but so the goal is to always be traveling back and forth.
Gotcha.
And not have one place, just be in multiple places.
Who needs to be tethered?
Not this guy, definitely.
Right?
I like having the ability to just get up and go.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I love that. I think that that's a good thing. I feel like
Absolutely.
that, like, in the world in general, that ability and even the desire to wander and experience different things and to travel the world is,
and
can be very enriching.
Because I think that if you're sheltered, then you limit yourself on the amount of experiences that you can have, and you actually deny yourself great experiences, get a chance to meet great people.
Totally.
I'm a foodie, so experiencing culture through food is big for me.
Yes.
Clearly.
Amen to that. I'm not mad at that though, Bethuel. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be willing to allow yourself to step out and try new experiences. It's one of the best decisions you can ever make. Definitely.
Yeah.
And
this
do it
is
through
awesome.
food. It's an easy segue.
Right? You can learn the whole world through food.
Yes, you can. So I'm versed in several countries.
Do you cook?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I've only met a handful of people that can cook better than me. My father says he can still cook better than me, but that's up for debate. So
Yeah.
we'll see. But my father is actually the guy who taught me to cook. So.
Really? Do you have cook-offs? Do you have like one recipe where you both have your own version?
We're battling over whose version of salmon is better right now.
Really?
I personally think mine is better, but so does my sister. She won't admit it because she's daddy's little girl, but you know.
But deep down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we're very versatile in the kitchen.
I love it.
He taught us to, for lack of a better word, want a woman but not need her. So, yeah.
Well, there you have it. There's a lot of powerful women out there who want to be wanted but not needed.
Very true, and I think that there is power in that statement.
Right?
To be wanted means that you're being pursued, and needed is some kind of dependence.
A whole different thing.
Yeah,
I love it. So I want to say hi to some of the people who've come in. We have Deb came in, and Rukia. Hi, my Rukia. I haven't seen you in so long, my love. And Krishna, and Sue, and my Angela's family, and Patrick. Welcome, everybody. So just so you know, Bethuel says hi too. Just so you know, you can talk to us, you can ask us questions, you can interact with us during the course of the show. Are you ready to take the vulnerability quiz, Bethuel?
Yes, I've been meditating, praying. I'm ready to go.
Are you? You feeling? All right. It's not really. See, I always like set people up to think that it's going to be this salacious thing, and they're going to have to like put all their business out there. We're not going to have to whip your dick out on the table or anything like that. We're just going to have. Are you checking the size of the table? I love it. You get a high five for that. I see David just joined. Welcome. That was great. All right, ready? Are you ready to go?
Question number one. Let's go.
Question number one is a good, easy one. Okay. What is your purpose?
My purpose is to fulfill my truest potential and simultaneously help others to do the same.
Love it.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet, clean and concise. I love it. See, this is why I get the best badass bachelors, like just the good answers, right? All right, name something that you identify as a true expression of who you are.
My poetry. Yeah.
You write poetry, Bethuel.
Yeah, most people don't know that actually. Yeah, I write poetry. Sorry. Yeah.
Am I allowed to put you on the spot?
Sure, absolutely.
Is there something you remember that you would want to share?
I always carry some, so I could pull one up.
You want to?
Sure. Okay.
All right.
I actually wrote this one for a good buddy of mine. Well, actually, two really important people in my life. They actually just got engaged recently, and as soon as he proposed to her, they're actually both clients and friends. He's my brother from another, so when he proposed to her, I actually started writing this one.
Aww. Did he use it to propose to her?
No, I was actually supposed to read this at their wedding. They didn't know, but we'll read it now if that's okay.
Spoiler alert.
Obviously.
Okay.
Should I just go now?
You can just go now.
Like spoken word. Is there drums?
Right. I know. I feel like
okay. It's called Jump.
Okay.
So jump. Take this leap with me into this crazy thing called loving. No fear, just trust in the us here. Give our mortal bodies a chance at immortality like only this love can. This love. This God-type love. This love that existed long before our words dared speak it into existence. This love fell deep into the marrow of bones we'll be forced to leave behind when life stops giving us chances to breathe into each other. So breathe in deep and hold every breath till every molecule of oxygen saturates the lungs and we become the one our two bodies yearn for. I still have to finish it.
Wow, that was beautiful.
Yeah, I try.
Oh, thank you. Now,
so Chip and Marie, that's
that was for you guys.
That's for your wedding.
Is it because their love inspired that?
I just watched them blossom, and I knew that it took a lot for both of them to admit what everyone else already knew what was there. Guys, let's call it what it is. So I knew it. I remember one time we were all going out to lunch together, and they were walking down the street, off in the distance where they thought no one could see them, but I could clearly see them, and they were holding hands.
Yeah.
And the minute they saw me, they let go. So I was like, you need to hold on tight this time, Chip. Anyway, so I wrote that for them.
Bethuel, you strike me as a very romantic man after reading that poem.
No
Would you say that's true?
Yes, I would.
Yeah?
I would, definitely.
Are you the type... Now, okay, here's a personal question.
Sure.
What's the longest long-term relationship you've ever been in?
That's a good question. I think 4 years.
Okay.
Yes.
And would you say that in that 4 years that you were a very romantic type of partner?
Absolutely. I think that love has been mistaken as a noun, and it's a verb actually, because love is something that you do and you demonstrate in a daily, sometimes by the minute process. And if you don't really demonstrate love, then it's hard for someone to actually see how much they mean to you. And I think a really good book to read is The 5 Love Languages.
Oh, yeah. Gary Chapman, right? Gary Chapman?
Definitely.
Yeah,
and,
that's a great
because
book.
one of the other challenges is that different people communicate differently. And I might think that I might be sharing my love and affection for you, but if you don't process it the same way, then, communication is one of the other things that's important when it comes to love. And money, too. So you have to talk about both, definitely.
So what's your favorite, or what's a favorite way to sort of express yourself romantically?
Spending quality time.
That's
cooking,
your love language?
Definitely. I love cooking for the people that I love.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I express, if I want to express myself through food, then it comes out great. If I'm asked to cook and I'm not in the mood.
Oh, really? Oh, you like
don't
that?
Eat it.
So if somebody makes a request, you
can survive. It will sustain you, but you won't taste the love. I could definitely say
Really?
that. Yeah.
So it has to be by your choice.
Yeah, so I have to be wanting to do it, but once I want to do it, it's pretty much game
Then you're
over.
on board. I
Yeah,
gotcha.
definitely.
I gotcha. Okay, so I don't know if I should jump right because I love this romantic thread that we're on, but I do want to sort of jump into the love and money conversation.
Okay.
And let me ask you, because we started to talk about it a little bit. Let me just say hi, Matthew, who just came on. And Patrick says, hey, Candace, I tuned in just in time. Yes, you did, my love. I'm so glad that you're here. So, why do you think that love and money are such a hot button issue? I know why I think, but I want to know why you think.
Because I think in some ways they're somewhat intertwined, especially if you look at long-term relationships, marriage. We have a divorce rate that's over 50% right now. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that has to do with miscommunication and not being on the same level when it comes to such an important thing like money. And I always tell people that ask me about what are some of the foundational things for a successful relationship. Money is definitely one of them. I think a shared faith is one of them as well. Mm-hmm. How you raise kids. And you have to have, and faith as well, you have to have certain fundamental, common foundational principles that guide you throughout your life. And I think if you have those in place, then everything else is gravy.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It's interesting that you say that because I always feel like, too, I think you're absolutely right as far as, people getting on the same page around those things. But with money in particular, I feel like there are so many different money mindsets and a lot of them negative. But there are so many different ways that people have been, especially in this culture, sort of sabotaged around money.
Very true.
Right?
Very true. And I think especially in our community is just a lack of education around how to handle money, something as simple as a budget. And having a vision for money as well. Yeah. Because if you don't have an education, you really don't know what steps to take. And it sometimes just jeopardizes a relationship because people don't even know what they need to talk about when it comes to money. And it's crazy because sometimes I'm sitting down with couples who've been married for 10 plus years and the husband is handling his finances completely separately. The wife is doing hers just because they can't find any common ground.
Yeah.
And the most successful relationships that I've witnessed, it's a legitimate union in every sense of the word. So, and money is one of those things that you have to just be unified around. You don't have to, I don't think that you have to have identical money philosophies, but there have to be certain commonalities, such as planning for a rainy day. You could have someone who's the saver and you can have someone that is a spender. Yeah. And both of them can complement each other because the reality is that the saver doesn't want to touch a penny. They want to leave it for the future, but it prevents them from enjoying the present. Yeah. And the person who's the spender sometimes is too busy living in the present that they can't plan for a rainy day. So sometimes you can have those mergers where
like if they're willing to compromise, though.
Exactly. And that's one of just part of a healthy relationship is the willingness to compromise. Yeah. You should have certain things which you don't compromise on, obviously, but I think that the more you can compromise and the more you can come together, not I'm on my end of the table, you're on yours, and you need to come to my end. It's about meeting in the middle. Oftentimes I think that if you meet in the middle, things will be much easier.
Yeah.
Definitely.
See, some people I feel like, and I actually think this is a positive thing when it comes to money, they consider it like a game, right? Where it's like, they big picture things, and they have, they're investors and people who will take risks and things like that. And then there's other people who are very pragmatic and very organizers. And I think that those are two positive mindsets that if people are willing to compromise, that it could work.
Absolutely. And again, I always go back to a willingness to learn, and especially because basic money education and financial education, financial wellness isn't something that's being taught to us at a very early age.
At all. I feel like not at all. I don't know what's going on in school now.
The most basic financial principles, if you learn them early on, they can change the trajectory of your life in general.
Yeah.
And I think that a lack of that education just puts us in a tough spot. And if we can be open to acquiring the education, because that's one of the other things, we fear what we don't know. I was recently speaking to a couple, and they compared investing for their future to gambling, and that's actually coming from a place of ignorance. Because investing isn't a gamble. If you want to gamble, go to Vegas. But when you're investing, it's not a gamble, because history tends to repeat itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it does take a level of being willing to learn about things when you're an investor, right?
Absolutely.
And I feel like that's a cultural thing too. Like it's almost like it's discouraged to find out about other things and invest in and share what you have with other people in order to get a return. Like it's a very...
Yeah, the susu isn't everything.
Right? Right? Oh, it's terrible. But here's the thing, because I want to see what your take would be on this, because before I began my journey of transforming my money mindset, I was very much in a relationship where we had very different negative money mindsets. Like mine was from definitely a place, we were both coming from a place of lack, but mine was from the place of don't spend anything and just like old stuff that I hadn't healed, had to take care of. And his was a place of, spend everything. Like don't ever hold on to a dollar. Don't let there be any money in reserve. Like that was his sort of attitude. What would you say if a couple were to approach you and say, what do we do about this? We love each other and everything, but we both have really negative ways to approach money, and it's just not working. Like we're not getting anywhere.
Well, the first thing I would do is be willing to learn and accept where that person is coming from.
Yeah.
Because I think way too many people are so hell-bent on having the other person just accept their way of thinking.
Totally.
Whether negative or positive, it's irrelevant. It's just this desire it must be my way, whether it's positive or negative. So first, just have an understanding of where that person's coming from, why they think the way they think.
Yeah.
And both of you be willing to listen to the other person's perspective.
Yeah.
And not necessarily take it as your own gospel, but understand that this is where I'm coming from, this is my beginning point, and both be willing to change that narrative. Both be willing to change that perspective.
Like both people have to be willing to kind of transform
exactly.
it a little
bit,
right?
And I think in any kind of relationship, there has to be a willingness on both parts for that relationship to succeed. Whether you're talking about money, raising children, which church you pick, if you go to church, what kind of food you eat, there has to be a willingness to be on the same page.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, I agree. So we have Joe who joined us. Hi, Joe, and Valerie and Candace, right? You guys can ask us questions. You can talk to us and interact. We're talking about love and money with Bethuel Taylor.
Important things, yeah.
Right? And here's another question I have. So I want to know what inspired you to go into financial advisement. Like were you always someone who was good with money? Were you someone who... No.
It's funny. The only reason I was recruited into the company was because I was actually I was finishing up pre-med, and I was using my full-time job as a way to pay my way through school because I didn't qualify for student loans or financial aid, things of that nature. So when I was recruited, I just saw this as a means to earn income to pay my way through school. But what I found was something that I could be passionate about because I always loved helping people.
Yeah.
I ended up in medicine for that reason. Didn't like blood, so I was happy to leave medicine.
Did you pass out at any point?
Absolutely.
You did?
That's a tough story. My younger brother will always hate me for. But anyway, he's forgiven me, actually. He's a youth minister, so he has to.
Okay.
Anyway, but I actually was just going to work and earn income to pay my way through school and then quit. But what I found was that I could still fulfill my passion and not have tons of debt and so much time spent in education and not really have the quality of life that I wanted. So, and the ability to positively impact my community in the way that I'm able to and change the lives that I've been able to thus far has been the reason that has kept me here. Not being able to deliver a death claim as an example and have a grieving spouse, when she sees you, the first thing that she says is, thank God for you. That kind of hit home for me. And then having another client call me to transfer funds into their account so that their kid could pay for their first year of college, that was another impactful thing. And then being able to sit down with people that sometimes just have a fear of the future, like, will I be able to retire comfortably? And just seeing through the services that we provide and the education that we provide, seeing this, that peace come over them, that I can actually do this, and they know that they have someone that they can trust standing right next to them or sitting and eating, which is what I like to do. And my payment is food.
Food is a theme.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Your payment is food?
Absolutely. It is, actually. That's what I tell my clients. Yes. And so seeing that the impact that I've been able to have thus far, and we're nowhere scratching the surface, by the way, but that's kind of what led me here. I didn't plan on staying here as a career, but it's definitely planted my flag here, and I'm happy I made that choice.
That's awesome.
Definitely.
I love it. So let me ask you this. What is your most desired future vision?
Ooh. That's a big one.
Right? Inquiring minds out there want to know.
Where my business is concerned, I want to be able to be in a position where I'm changing 100,000 lives a year financially.
I like that.
Because there's such a tremendous need for what we do, not just on the budgeting and getting people out of debt, saving for their future, but just on education and the importance of creating financial literacy. Want to be able to take a team of doctors back home to my country one day to provide free healthcare as well. So there's a lot of goals going on there. But being in a position where I work because I want to, not because I have to.
I gotcha. Financial freedom.
Absolutely. And that will allow me to do a lot more things, passion projects. Looking to open up nonprofits, things of that nature that, can't do it as yet, but we're working on it.
And what are we doing as far as the poetry and the art and the creative?
My sister's been trying to get me to publish my work, but I haven't gotten around to it. But apparently after tonight, I might be forced to.
Yeah, I think you might be. I think we might be holding you accountable from now on.
You can. Accountability buddies are important.
Right. It's good to have that balance. Joe says, great topic today. Financial advice is extremely necessary in today's world. Absolutely, Joe. And Alex just joined us. Hi, Alex. And Sean just shared our video. Thank you, Sean. Let's see. What do we want to know next? Okay. What's something that you always do when you're alone?
Sleep, eat, exercise, and write, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah. I like to write that's one of the things I've been doing a lot more recently, is just writing and getting my thoughts out on paper. It could just be what I'm thinking about, and sometimes it's just, I have a lot of unfinished poems. A lot of them. Yeah. Especially over the past year and a half, it's been a lot of unfinished works.
Somebody's going to be writing a poetry book this year.
That might be the title. Yeah.
Wait. Monique's trying to tell you something. We have studio audience tonight. Oh.
They don't need to know that.
They need to know that, Bethuel. I
was told to say that I sing too, but only in the shower these days.
Only in the shower? Did you used to sing in the church? Did you?
Yes, I did. I actually got my start singing in the church. Still have a trophy from when I was 3 years old.
Really?
I won third place, and we went up on stage, forgot the entire song, only the chorus. Oh. So I kept singing the chorus until they yanked me off stage, actually. But I did it so well that they gave me a third place trophy, and I think I was either 3 or 4 years old.
Yeah.
And I still have that trophy, rusted as it is, but I carry it around. It's a nice little memento.
Are you comfortable with being on the spot to sing? We had a badass bachelor sing one time, so it's not like it's not a necessity because you did do poetry, but we'd love it because we love that sort of thing here.
Oh boy, maybe later.
We'll see if there's time. If time
there
allows.
There is time. I'm thinking of a song right now.
Right, you be thinking, and we'll answer some more questions.
Sounds good.
Okay, so finish this sentence. I would like to have someone with whom I could share
my life with.
Okay.
Yeah. Dreams and visions also came to mind, but I think if you live life successfully, it would be the living out your dreams and your visions. So that's kind of what I really mean by that.
Is there any kind of like, because I know for me, one of my big self-care things, I'm big into yoga, and I love being outdoors. Like I spend the first half of the day usually down by the Hudson River, and whether I'm doing yoga or getting work done.
Recent post on that,
yeah, I post about it all the time. And if there was one thing that I'd want to share with someone who is in my life, is that not they wouldn't have to come with me every day. I go almost every day, but that's something I'd want to share. Is there something specific that you do that you feel like, I'd want to bring somebody special along with this?
Honestly, cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to have a sous chef.
Right? Chopping up all the vegetables.
Exactly. And I think that's one of the best experiences that you can have is creating something together. And the kitchen is one of the best places to do it. So
I agree. I love that idea of creating something together. Yeah. I come from an art background. So anytime, like even when I work with couples and stuff, it's always around like, how can we create something together? How can we really contribute ourselves and be vulnerable in that way? And yeah. Awesome.
Nothing like having a knife involved.
Right? That's a whole nother thing. Okay. Definitely. What is something that you feel a little bit guilty about? Dun, dun, dun.
Something I feel guilty about.
Yeah.
Nothing comes to mind, to be honest. No.
Guilty? You've cleaned up all the past.
I actually did at one point. There was at one point where I was guilty about some of the relationships I think I had damaged during a particular season of my life. But I actually went back and sought forgiveness. So I can't say that I feel guilty at this point. No.
I love that you said that though, because I feel like what has been the pattern, when I ask that question, and also when I just talk to men in general. See, I think women often think that men are just very callous and unfeeling because the way that we
Surprisingly not.
Right? Surprisingly not. But the way that we often experience love and relationships is that we are in some way a victim. And ladies, I love you. Don't take me wrong. But sometimes we do, I've done it myself. Sometimes we do go into that mode, he ain't shit and he did this and he did that.
I actually heard that recently. One of my friends was describing a recent ex that way. But
really?
Anyway,
yeah. And that's
I
common.
think that it's a dangerous thing when we label either ourselves or another party as just strictly women are victims, men are the perpetrators, because sometimes it's the other way around. And I think a willingness to be introspective and say, okay, what did I do wrong?
Yeah.
Because in terms of failed relationships, even if there was someone in there that did the majority of the hurting, we still had a role.
Totally.
And I think accepting that is one of the first steps to healing as well.
I agree. Yeah. And I love that as a man that you are owning that there was any kind of feelings of like, I didn't feel necessarily good about who I was in the relationship. And I think that's important for both women and men to be able to just own, I wasn't my best self.
Definitely.
In every relationship.
It actually wasn't even someone that I dated. It's just that I knew that the interaction that we had a negative impact. I can be poets can be vicious with their words. So I was somewhat vicious with my words.
Yeah.
And, it was maybe a year or two later that after I came out of the stupor I was in, for lack of a better word, I actually sought out forgiveness.
Oh, wow.
And I think that if you can, again, own up to the things that you've done and genuinely seek forgiveness, and seeking forgiveness is not necessarily for the other person, it's for you. Because sometimes you go seeking forgiveness and you don't find it. But I had written a little while ago that sometimes peace doesn't come to you. You sometimes have to go find it and beat it into submission. You have to go get it for yourself. So, yeah. That's one way to put that.
That's one way to put it, definitely. I always say you have to generate it, but finding it and beating it into submission, that's a very, very masculine energy approach.
I am a guy.
No, but I love what you said about forgiveness. I do think that is so important, and that is part of what, not only, you're right, it's not only just for us, but it's also part of what has us move on healthfully.
Definitely.
Right?
Definitely. And I think that if you can clear your own space, you're more able to successfully move forward in life.
Yeah.
Because way too many of us, both men and women, carry way too much baggage.
Oh, totally.
Way too much baggage. Maybe that's a song I'll sing. Erykah Badu.
You're going to do that one? You're going to do that one later? All right. So here's a fun question. Who is your celebrity soulmate or just sexual crush? Who is a celebrity that you're like, yeah, she's it?
As crazy as it sounds, I've never given much energy towards celebrities. I mean, do I find Halle Berry attractive? Absolutely. But in terms of just the whole celebrity culture, I think that for us to put certain people on a pedestal below and have so many of us who are regular folks. I think we can all be celebrities in our own life. So I don't necessarily have I can say that Halle Berry is attractive, but I'm not, if she comes knocking on my door and I happen to be married, I'm not looking at my wife and telling her,
she's got to go.
Yeah, Halle is here. It's like, sorry, Halle, I'm already spoken for.
Yeah,
so
yeah. But the idea of it is who's somebody who like physically kind of represents what you're attracted to. It doesn't have to be that you're like in love with their celebrity.
But definitely Halle Berry
Definitely
comes
Halle
to
Berry.
mind.
Okay.
Jill Scott is amazing, not just because of her poetry, but I think that she has a beautiful spirit. Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
Black is beautiful.
Yes.
Anyway, yes. I digress.
You did say in the lobby, everybody, he did say that he likes chocolate.
I had 2 pieces before I came here.
2 pieces. What that's about.
No pun intended.
But I love it. I love it. So I see John joined us and Quentin. Hi, you guys. Quentin says greetings. Big up. Thank you, Quentin. Thank you, honey. It's good to see you. You guys, if you have any questions, you want to talk about love or money, please feel free.
Definitely.
We will answer. And if you're shy, we always answer later because we come on later on, right? And interact with the post. We're Facebook friends now. So
Absolutely.
You can, yeah.
I'll be typing away.
Right? All right. So here's another question. Sure. If you were going to change anything about the way that you were raised, what would it be?
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing? Oh, that's great.
I am the man I am today because of the experiences that I had. And if I didn't experience what I experienced, I wouldn't be who I am. So
yeah,
I'm as painful as some of those processes were, it led me to who I am today, and I'm loving the journey. So I can't say that I'd change anything.
See, that's a great answer. This is the thing. I always tell everybody, like, a lot of these questions are first date questions, right? Because it's very, you're not attaching yourself to this person being a certain way, which I think is a mistake we sometimes make when we're first dating. But the idea here is like, what you want to hear in these questions, this is for people who are listening, is, how this person is and how they navigated their past, who they see themselves as, and how much responsibility they take for who they are, right?
Very true.
And so I think that's a wonderful thing. And our bachelor last week, we discussed it a little bit too. We were talking about how taking ownership over all of it and loving all of it for who it made you be is a really attractive trait in a partner.
Yeah, and some of the most, I can think back to some of the most painful experiences from my past that have, if they didn't happen, I wouldn't be who I am today. And I'm grateful for who I am today and the position I hold in some of the lives that I do. So some of the most painful experiences, I'm most grateful for them because they had such a positive impact in the end result, but still on a journey to growth. So I can't say that I'd change any experience. Some of them I'd even go repeat, as crazy as it sounds, because I know the value of the lesson. And I think one of the challenges that a lot of people have is that they might go through hurts and they might go through challenging experiences, but they just go from one challenging experience to another simply because they don't take time to learn the lessons from that experience.
Oh, yeah.
And if you can step outside of the emotion of it and just look at what was there to be learned from the experience, I think that you can move forward with such a more powerful presence and a more powerful sense of being.
Oh, absolutely. I love it. I love it, Bethuel.
I'm here to assist.
You're great, honey. So let me ask you this. What are you most grateful for in life?
Grace.
Grace.
Knowing that there is nothing that I can do and in a good way and nothing that I can do in a bad way that can deny me God's love. That it's just freely given. I can't do anything to earn it. Yeah. And I can't do anything to shun it away. And I think that that's one of the things that has helped me mature, is understanding what true authentic love is and what that represents in the confines of grace. So that's definitely on the top of the list, grace.
I love it.
Definitely.
And I think too, what I'm hearing and what you're saying is this thing with enoughness, because I feel like enoughness is a thing. Like we said that you have God's love.
Definitely.
Just for being you, right? You have God's love. Like we have God's love. And whether you believe in God, whatever you believe in, if you just believe in love as your higher power, it's like, I think that in our culture, we're so taught that we have to strive to be, or that we have to get to a certain point before we deserve, or, that you have to like reach some success level before you're good enough.
Definitely.
And I think what you're talking about is just a spirit of enoughness.
Yeah. And I think that if people understand how much they are loved and how much they are valued, just being themselves, they can be much more present in relationships because who I am is not based on how you see me.
Yeah.
Who I am is based completely on how I see me.
Self-defined.
And you can either accept it or not, but this is who I am because I was telling a recent friend who was asking me about relationship advice, and the individual that she was dating was not necessarily demonstrating love, so she was potentially kind of diminishing her value. And I said that, okay, he might not be doing certain things for you, but this other guy, Jesus, died for you. So that's the ultimate price. So that is a demonstration of your ultimate value, someone willing to lay their life down for you. So it doesn't matter what this other person is doing. If that's the value, someone willing to lay their life down, then that's your foundation. Build from that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love it, Bethuel. You're amazing. I think you're
Trying.
fabulous. So tell me, what
Flaws
is your...
and all.
What's that?
Flaws and all. Yeah.
Flaws and all. It's good. It's all perfect.
Yeah.
What is your superpower?
I am fiercely loyal.
Oh, I love that.
I'm fiercely loyal.
Yeah. I have a feeling that you probably don't subscribe to astrology, and I have a friend.
I don't.
No, I didn't think so.
Don't.
I have a friend who's a hardcore astrologer, and I'm one of those people that dabbles in it a little bit because I find it interesting. But just out of curiosity, what is your astrological sign? Do you know?
Ironically, when people ask me that, depending on my level of annoyance, I usually say exit.
Yeah.
That's my sign, exit, but I'm an Aquarius.
I knew it! I knew it! I knew I was going to guess. I totally knew it. Because I'm an Aquarius too.
All right, good.
But that's not why I knew.
I don't know why.
I know, like, I was raised in the Baptist church. I know hardcore. You too, Monique? Monique, who's in the audience, she was an Aquarius too. Girl, that does not surprise me. But I tell you, like, I was raised in the Baptist church, and I know that, like, with Christianity, Pentecostal.
Yes.
I was like high-fiving you again because I saw you high-five on the screen. But here's the thing, and I'm not someone who's like logistically religious anymore. I'm not necessarily a hardcore churchgoer, but I get it. Like when you're in the Christianity world, astrology is not really such a welcomed, sort of dogma. I get that. But there was something about the spirit in a lot of what you were saying that I connected with in a very on an Aquarian level. I don't know what it is. There's just, I'd have to go back and look at the recording, but there's a lot of things you said.
Word for it.
Yeah, just take my word for it. I'm not going to push astrology on you. I
No
know
worries. It falls off.
But I wish I would have guessed before you said it because I knew it.
Well,
and Monique,
right.
it doesn't surprise me about you either. We're going to be bringing Monique in a second because we're going to be talking about our event that's coming up. But yeah, there's a certain energy.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying. I don't know.
I won't deny it, I guess.
All right, we have a few more minutes to get in a couple more things.
Sure,
so what
definitely.
is your favorite memory?
My favorite memory, one of my favorite memories is actually the last Christmas my family was together before my parents separated. I remember it vividly. I broke my favorite toy that I got. It was an arrow and bow, a bow and arrow, sorry. And I held on to it so tight because I wanted to get the perfect shot, and it broke in my hands. And I didn't want to show my father because that was a present I'd asked for. But
and then you broke it.
Yeah, but that just being together with the family, my mother and father and my siblings, that was hands down one of the best memories from being a kid. Yeah.
Wow, how old were you?
I can't even remember, but I couldn't have been more than 3 or 4, to be honest.
Wow, so you're little.
It's burnt into my head.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. Okay, so if you knew that it was your last month on Earth, how would you spend it?
With the people I love the most.
Okay,
Family,
what would you do?
Friends. I'd get everyone together, go to a private island and just hang out, have fun, create some amazing experiences. Definitely cook. Definitely. Because I love seeing people enjoy my food when I cook it. Last Thanksgiving, I had a few of my teammates over from the office and just loved every minute of it, just cooking and enjoying them, eating the food. And even though they didn't want to admit it, they loved the food.
Did you cook? It was Thanksgiving?
Yeah. Yes.
Did you cook everything?
No, it was a potluck, but my dish was the star of the evening.
Was it? What was your dish?
I did a salmon with, we don't do, because I'm not from America, so we don't do the whole turkey thing.
Oh, okay.
So it was predominantly Caribbean people that were coming over. So I did a salmon with, it was glazed with garlic and onions, and I did some sauteed shrimp and knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
It was good.
A lot of good
The
seafood.
star of the show, yes.
Okay. All right. I love it. That's fantastic.
Definitely.
All right. Now let me make sure that I got what is your life's theme song?
My life's theme song? Right now it'd have to be Jindai, I'm a Classic Man.
I love that song. That's a great song.
It's actually on my Office soundtrack too. So
Is it?
Yeah.
I was just wondering, because you know what? I just started following him on Instagram because he just started his Instagram because I was wondering what happened to him because he came out with that album, 4 years ago?
I think so, yeah.
Something like that. And I'm like, where's Jadena? Like, we need another album. But apparently he's been performing. He was just performing in Brooklyn the other night.
Oh. I guess I should have showed up to Brooklyn. I don't need to take the train there. Yeah.
I think that's a good song for you, Bethuel.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'd like to think so too.
Yeah. It absolutely fits.
Sounds good. I'll take it.
Thank you so much, honey. You did the whole vulnerability quiz.
Oh, I did?
Yeah. The one slow clap.
Exactly.
That's the aquarium clap. You did the whole quiz. You were very sharing. You did a good job. We didn't get any.
Honesty is the best policy.
It is, right?
Yes, definitely.
We didn't get any crazy questions from the audience. I see Richard joined us. Hi, Richard. Richard is our guest next week. No, but
What's
that's
up,
okay.
Richard?
Right. It's okay because sometimes they ask questions later, so we can come back on the post and things like that.
Later.
Right? Yeah, you did a great job. Thank you so much.
Not bad for a first go.
Not bad for a first go. Now, I'm going to bring Monique in a moment because we're going to talk about this event that you and I have coming up and Monique is hosting. But first, I want you to tell people, do you want them to follow you on any social media or anything like that?
Most of my social media is just personal stuff, but you can definitely reach out to me on Facebook, Bethuel Taylor. That's B as in boy, Ethuel. That's how you spell the first name, Taylor. I'm on Instagram as well, TLLPSNSD. That's the handle on there. And I usually just post inspirational stuff whenever I get around to it, but I'm usually just busy in the office, so don't unfollow me if I don't post in a month or so.
Now, what if someone wants to get in touch with you about financial advisement?
If you send me a private message in either one of those channels, or you can just call my office or call me directly. I guess I can give you my cell phone if you needed that, but that would be the easiest way to get me. You can either email me as well, bethuel.taylor@gmail.com. That's my private email. I usually check that several times a day, so that'd be the best way to get me.
And we can put that on the we can post it on the comments or
yes, definitely.
Okay.
I'm
all right,
an
cool.
open book.
We'll do
ready
that.
to help, definitely.
Yeah. Yay!
Absolutely.
Thank you, Bethuel. Now, Monique, I want you to come in, honey, because we want to tell you guys about this event that we have next month.
Good.
That Monique is totally your hosting, your coordinator.
She dragged me into it.
She's the power woman, right? Come on in, honey. Make sure you're like here. Let me move this a little bit. Ooh.
Oops.
We got a lot of equipment on the table. All right. Just make sure that's close to you. There you go. Say hi, Monique.
Hello, hi.
Hi, honey. So now I'm going to let you introduce what the event is, Monique, and then, and we can talk about what me and Bethuel are going to talk about and all that stuff.
Okay, awesome. So hi, guys. And actually, there's an awesome opportunity to have, something that you create just from your mind and just, sharing with it so quickly and how things just fall into place. So a friend of mine or to work with just said, we should create a new event for, sharing the importance of finance and financial education. And I said, look, another topic that keeps coming up with all my clients is relationships and money. They're talking about, look, my boyfriend doesn't save, but I'm not going to talk to him that I'm saving and I'm investing right now. And just really realizing it's a struggle for a lot of people to not only find peace with their own money, but then also to introduce that into a relationship, whether it be a parent, a sibling, or a relationship that they're starting. So love and money is not just dedicated to the one and relationships, but it's also, hey, I'm doing 10 times better than my parents. How do I actually save for myself, but also feel comfortable enough to be able to give enough, but I don't feel bad by saying no? So I actually got introduced to Candace by another friend who I shared again about finances. And
was it Candace?
It was Candace.
Yeah! We have a friend named Candace.
Candace.
And what's really awesome again is it really only took about 3 to 4 people that I reached out to, and I found exactly who I was looking for. And Bethuel Taylor is actually somebody who's actually coached and trained me in the same company, and we have the opportunity to really give this a high level event so much credibility because it's coming from two rooted places. The more that we understand money and we understand the power of how it does affect relationships, children are watching how we talk about money. Families are being torn apart because they're stressed about money. So we're able to actually combine two major things that people are dealing with and actually have a solvent. Like, look, not everybody might take what we're doing, but you can never say this wasn't offered to you, or never say that somebody didn't care enough to make an impact on your future generations. And that's exactly what Taylor and I are looking to do. It's really not just your generation. We're looking to actually have an impact for 3 to 4 generations who can look at you and go, you were the line of demarcation in your family that no one in our family ever struggled with debt or worrying about buying their first home or investing in a business or paying off education because you, the people on this call, went, look, the line stops here.
Yeah.
If there are people who are winning with money, that means there's already a path to follow. We are giving you all the information, the footsteps to actually follow in to get there with 10, 20 years ahead and quicker so you can enjoy this money and freedom of time with your family who's alive now. And as we always say, we don't know when that time will come up, but someone's going to call on you and your family for something that is going to be honestly handled by a check. It might be a $5,000 check. It might be a $10,000 check. And how dare you not be able to give that blessing all because you didn't take the time to sit down and just go, look, this is it. I'm never going to be in a situation that I can't deliver. So again, the event is called Love and Money. And it's going to be a panel event. You're actually going to be hearing from our great 2 hosts today that you're listening to right now. But it's going to be a little bit more of a conversation. You're not walking out without the tools to honestly go to the next step.
Break cycles. It sounds like you're talking about breaking cycles.
Breaking cycles. Because so many of us go, great, that was great information. Then what? So you're actually with people who are licensed in the industry who can actually help you execute that immediately. And the reason that we have Candace on board is, again, look, if there's something that you're dealing with from your past that you need to deal with now, there's no more time. Take care of it now. Like, go get help so you can go find the person of your dreams. Because really, it's really you. When you find you and take care of you, the doors open up to then being to be open to any loving relationship in your life, whether it be a parent, a sibling, or, who you might even be helping out in your career. People are counting on us to win. You understand? You can't have your money's not working. So you're pissed off at the Starbucks person because they gave you almond milk. Right? And you asked for 2%. Yeah. So you really want to make sure that you come to our event. It's going to be posted, and we're looking forward to seeing you guys.
Right. August 16th.
Absolutely.
Right?
August 16th.
Williamsburg,
936 Metropolitan Avenue, Williamsburg, New York.
Okay, cool. And we are actually going to post the link so that you can register and get your tickets and everything and come.
And it's limited seat, guys. So we're just really encouraging you. Hit that Evite. Say you're coming, and we'll definitely follow up just to make sure if, somebody else wants your seat, but we just want to make sure that we are in an intimate setting that you get everything that you need.
Yeah. Good stuff. Yay. Thanks, Monique. Awesome. She's awesome. I had to have her jump in to give to give us all the background info.
Temper the conversation.
Thank you, Monique. And you were so cute, honey, because you acted like you were so shy. You were like, oh, no. I'll just sit and watch. We would have had her on the podcast, honey.
I know. When you get to the women's section, please bring it back.
No, that was great. Thank you so much, Monique. So we have that, and you guys know at the end, as always, I do my announcements for all the things that are coming up. And coming up soon, actually, we're going to be starting mid-September. Launching in August is my Get Right with Mom for the Sake of Your Love Life Intensive, otherwise known as the Epic Intensive, Empowering Practices for Intimate Connections. What's that? What do you say?
Get it right.
Right? We are turning abused daughters into phenomenal women. So if you think your lifelong relationship with your mother may be negatively impacting your love life, this is the intensive group coaching for you. And if you want to heal, master the skills to create healthy relationships, start all over from a clean slate, and attract the ultimate love of your life, use the link on my business page. Candace Harper Love Coach is my business page to apply and become an epic woman. Not to mention the fact, at the end, it's a 12-week intensive. I take everybody to Jamaica.
What?
Hello, Kitty.
Women only?
Huh? Women only for this one. Because, right, for this one.
Yeah, I believe it.
It's going to be a different theme with every intensive. And I was talking to the event coordinator at a place called Jake's in Jamaica, which is sort of a very rustic retreat place where it's all local food is served and it's really healthy food. And yeah, and this thing called the Pelican Bar where they take you on a boat out. It's out in the middle of the ocean, the bar. So we're going to zip line, we're going to ropes course, we're going to do some yoga, we're going to meditate and have some transformation at the completion of our 12-week intensive. And when I say it's intense, it's serious because it's mind, body, and spirit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Holistic approach. Love it.
Right?
Absolutely.
Right? It's all about the holistic approach these days.
You have to.
You have to, because I feel like too, it's so easy to learn all of these distinctions and growth things. And for me, I know I've been studying them for, a couple decades now, but it really only started to hit home within the past 5 or 6 years to where I could really apply it to my life in a conscious way.
Definitely. That is important. Not just learning, but applying.
Right?
Definitely.
Exactly. So we want things to be experiential. And I see Ed and Jacqueline joined. Hopefully you guys will be able to go back and watch from the beginning. You came in late. It's okay. You can also follow me on Instagram. It's @CandyLoveCoach. And I want you to start following. The podcast now has its own Instagram, Bethuel.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? It's brand new. I just started it after the show last week, and it's at Ask for Candy Podcast.
I will share it as soon as we get off.
Will you? You'll share it also?
Absolutely.
Oh, I appreciate that. You're already on it. Your image is already on my Instagram.
Yeah, I saw.
Did you?
Wasn't ready for that.
Were you surprised?
Yes, I was. But I'm okay with the picture.
Are you? I hope so. That's the one you sent me.
Well, someone else sent that one to me, so I just forwarded.
Yeah. No, it's perfect. It looks just like you. If you have it on any dating apps, it looks like you. So that's. Do you do dating apps?
No, I do not.
Oh, that's a whole. We're gonna have to bring you back on the show to talk about that whole thing.
Good luck with that.
But if you ever, because I always feel like that's the thing with dating apps is that sometimes, especially men, are not so cautious about like making sure that they're, first of all, that it's a flattering picture, and second of all, that it actually, looks like them. Although let me not just espouse that to men, because I think a lot of women, we can definitely have pictures that look very, very filtered.
Yes. Straight no chase.
Right? But yeah,
if
you do decide to go on a dating app, that's a good picture to use. It looks just like you.
I will keep that in mind.
Yes. Yeah. When you walked in the door, I was like, that's him.
The guy. One and only, in the flesh.
Right? All right. So as you guys know, we're almost done. This year's summer theme is Badass Bachelor Summer. So I'll be focusing on all the good men out there. For any of us ladies that buy into the sad statistics and walk around fulfilling our own prophecy, I want to prove to all of us that they do exist. There are good single men out there who are purposeful and joyful and living their lives and being in integrity and all that good stuff. If you want to recommend anybody, please do. If you are a badass bachelor, just, hit me up. We only have, I think, only 1 or 2 more spots in August. So, we're almost done with this theme. We've had a lot of fun with it. If you're single, over 35, living in your purpose, joyful, and love to talk about it, you would be perfect. So hit us up. And shout out to Ask for Candy Podcast Group and Armed Radio Group News. And don't forget to go to our YouTube channel to catch any episodes you may have missed. And I'm catching up on all the editing, so give me a little time. But there's a few there that you can watch.
Patience is the big play.
Right? Go for patience. So subscribe. Watch my naked face walks on Instagram, IGTV. And leave me a comment with hashtag Ask for Candy in any of the social media places. And I think that is about it. Until next time, especially the Armed Radio peeps, never forget you are a love machine. If you ever start to feel like you aren't getting the love you need, just make more and ask for candy. Absolutely. And that's it. Thank you, Facebook people. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you, Bethuel, so much for being here. Right?
It was a pleasure.
Yay.
I enjoyed this immensely.
Yay. Thank you, Armed Radio. I know you guys might already be gone. And thank you, Monique, for jumping in. All right. Bye, everybody.
Have a good night, guys.
Bethuel, you get to hit the finish button.
Oh, cool. This is an
Can you
honor.
see it? Dun, dun, dun. Finish. Woo!